What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish and Knuckles YouTube channel. Here's the second part of the state's question to answers video with.
Jake Morgan
Okay.
from Mississippi, and that is where I will be playing this weekend.
Mark's turn.
Hey, I'm Mark Oliver. I'm a master from Arkansas. I will actually not be playing this weekend. I've got my boys turning 7, so we have to do father thing first. I'm a polka dad first, then a competitor. But I do have a pretty good idea of do I have to start over?
No, you're good. You're good. I was just laughing.
I got a pretty good idea of the metagame going in, and Arkansas State is kind of a battleground, so I should have some good information for anyone attending.
I'm Nathan Brower from Georgia.
I'm Sorina. I'm from Washington State.
Okay, sweet. So the very first question is for Mark Oliver, because he'd probably be the best to explain this. So, what is Kevin's opinion on Mew? Is it good counter to Suicune?
Okay, so no one's going to get this unless you're playing in the Hay Trainer Mafia, but I run a Mafia game on Hay Trainer. It's coming to its final chapter, and it just so happened that Cranberry was Suicune, and Andrew Wamble is destroying this game right now. I know he'll watch this video, and everybody knows that he's just rocking it right now, so he took out Cranberry as an inside joke, and Kevin's not too happy about it.
Oh no. Oh no.
Sit back and watch it. So it's one of those things that you won't get it if you're not in the know. But hey, head on over to Hay Trainer and check it out if you want a good read late at night and you're bored.
Okay. Alright, so we're going to go with the first question for everybody is, this is for last weekend. What state did you participate in, and what was the meta like? And we'll go with Nathan first.
I played in Alabama State this past weekend. It was basically all Toad, but there was a surprising amount of Night March and Flareon as well.
Okay, what about you, Jake?
I also played in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
I, however, did not do as well as Nathan, but there was a surprising amount of Toad, and also where I was playing around, there was a lot of the Empoleon Swampert deck, as well as a surprising amount of Cobalion decks.
So does that mean you're in the lower tables?
I was at the mid tables.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
make me feel too bad about myself.
Alright, so what about you, Sorina?
I went to Missouri State, where I placed 3rd, and most of the field was Yveltal with Garb, or without Garb, and a couple of other random things.
Yeah.
Some, all your other decks, but mostly Yveltal.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Alright, so the next question is thoughts on best 2 out of 3 in IDing. Alright, Mark, what about this?
I think it's really healthy for the format. I'm one of those people that's like, if Pokemon could make a change, it would be take away prize cards, because I hate losing that much of my deck just to start for the game, and I feel like there's a lot of luck that goes into just drawing your opening hand and taking what your prizes are. So because of that, bad beats, bad draws, no supporters, it's very easy to kind of get screwed out of a tournament just based on bad luck. So best 2 out of 3 helps that a little bit, and it sort of allows skill to shine. So I'm okay with it. I think that I would fall into the group that would like a little bit more time for the 2 out of 3, because a lot of decks are still unplayable because of the time limit. So I would say add maybe 10 more minutes, and I think that it would probably be right where I would want it to be.
Okay. So what about you, Sorina?
Yeah, I agree. I like best 2 out of 3 for the same reasons. I would also be in favor of more time. You just gotta be able to reconcile that with the entire tournament, and I know that that's something that people are worried about, I guess, but that's where I'm at as well.
Okay. What about you, Jake?
Yeah, best 2 out of 3 is always good. I know in the 2011 or 2012 season, whenever Zekrom Donk was very played, I got donked a total of I want to say 7 times that season, by the same person too, so that was something. But I think it leaves more room for if you have just one bad game.
Mm.
And the IDs, I can't really say they're either awful or they're great. I do think they add something that doesn't necessarily needs to be there, but at the same time, I've ID'd to get into cuts, so.
Okay, true. So what about you, Nathan?
I don't mind IDing at all. I think it's okay. As for best 2 out of 3, I have the unpopular opinion of missing best of one. I wish that they would do more best of one rounds in a deeper top cut.
Mhm.
That's my personal dream. Nobody really agrees with me, but that's what I.
Okay. All right. So let's see here. Was there any surprise decks this weekend? Either surprise in seeing it or surprise in its success? And I know Nathan, you had kind of a surprise deck. So did you see any surprise decks this weekend?
Executor, I guess, is a surprise deck.
Mm-hmm.
There was a surprising amount of that in Alabama. There were like 4 or 5 people playing Executor.
Okay.
Pretty sure it was 4.
4.
Now, did any of them cut?
No.
Okay. So what about you, Serena? Any surprise decks that you saw?
Yeah, the one surprise deck was the one that beat me in cut, which was Dawn Fan with a one Primal Groudon line.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting. Let's see, the Groudon decks I saw at Florida regionals were just more focused around like Hawlucha and all that stuff, but this had like, a pretty thick Dawn Fan line, and it was interesting.
Okay. And what about you, Jake?
Yeah.
I saw the really one deck that I just have never heard or seen about before coming into the tournament was a Manectric deck that used the Empoleons as well. I think it just played a heavy Manectric and then the Empoleon with Archies,
Mm-hmm.
and it was kind of like the Flareon, but instead of using Flareon and discarding a bunch of Pokemon, use Manectric and discard a bunch of energy. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Mark, I know you didn't participate in any states, but did you see any of the results that kind of surprised you or anything?
I was kind of surprised just by a lot of the different variety. I think going into it, there were a lot of clear favorites, and then you saw things like Dawn Fan reemerge, and you saw things that maybe, you saw the regionals results with Flareon, and you thought maybe it would be picked up a lot and used a lot during states. I didn't see it as much as I thought it would. I thought Fairies had a really weak showing. That was kind of a surprise to me because I feel like Fairies is a really strong play for this upcoming week. And I was just kind of surprised to see where things went out. I expected Yveltal, I expected Toad, and they did well, but Dawn Fan coming back was probably the biggest surprise to me.
Okay. Now, Mark, you kind of talked about luck earlier, so how big of a role do you think luck plays in this format? Uh-oh.
I was thinking the same thing.
Did you hear me, Mark?
Luck in the format? Well,
Yeah.
like I said before, you start the game, you're already kind of at a disadvantage. No other card game's really like that. I think luck plays a good amount into it, mainly because of the dominance that Seismitoad EX has. You got a lot of flips. You've got your super scoop-ups with your Landy Bat. You've got your hammers with Toad. You got your lasers. That sleep flip, man, that can win you games and that can lose you games.
Yeah, true.
So coin flips is kind of a big part. And I think luck plays a major part. You can do the best that you can. You can play test as much as you want, but the game is kind of going to dish out whatever it wants to give you. So I feel like it's one of those games that you're already at a disadvantage no matter what you do. You just try to do the best to beat the odds.
Okay. So what about you, Serena? What do you think?
Well, I actually think, I haven't been playing for that long, but it does feel like this format has been a little bit less luck-based than past ones. Maybe I'm not considering, Seismitoad was just so big last week, and I know a lot of people are, really freaking out about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's just, I don't know, it's just how the meta shifts, and there's definitely ways that you can get around the Seismitoad decks, and it's not necessarily, I don't even know if I would say it's a luck thing. Obviously, all the things you said were, based on luck, sleep flips and super scoop ups and stuff. But I think right now, one of the biggest decisions you can make is what deck you're going to play and reading your metagame and all of that stuff. And that's definitely like a skill based thing that I think, in comparison to past formats, that's been a lot more important.
So what do you think, Nathan?
In this format.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a little less luck based than what we've seen, but it's Pokemon. It's gonna be luck based. I think the game right now actually is seeing a little bit like a different kind of luck.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing the most variance we've ever had in the game, like in terms of what decks can be played, and I think a lot of your success can be determined by what decks you face. and if if you're going to the tournament playing rock and you face a bunch of paper, you're going to lose. It just comes down to who you face.
That's true. So what about you, Jake?
My biggest thing on luck in this format, I agree a lot with what Nathan said about how it's a bunch about matchups. But another thing is, if you notice, in past formats, we've had a lot of draw that was in play that stayed around, like Claydol, Gardevoir with the supporter copies, Smeargle, Uxie, all these things that were Pokemon that drew you cards. But now, almost every deck is relying on supporters and top decks to draw you cards. There's nothing that just stays on your field that can get you cards. And that's, I think, a big thing in what is making this more luck-based than last formats.
Which is why I don't like end at all. I think if you get end every turn, it comes down to like how well you can draw off of end. You don't have anything in play that really keeps your hand good. Like I don't know.
Yeah, true.
I'm very excited for that to rotate.
All right.
Although they may get Birch with a flip, so I don't know.
Okay, so the next question is Primal Groudon or Primal Kyogre? And I know, Sorina, you played against Groudon, so which one would you rather pick to play?
Primal Kyogre. That deck just sounds beastly. I feel like you can just make it super consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it does 150 every turn, and it sets up KOs for all the other guys. So it's a little scary. I think it's you can set it up faster.
Mm-hmm.
You can set up, and then you set up your other guys on the bench, right? I just think that it's just so bulky and so consistent. Unless you specifically counter it, I don't think you're gonna beat it. That kind of thing.
Okay. So what do you think, Jake? Which one would you rather play?
I would rather play Kyogre if I had the option between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, it is faster and you get to set up more guys on the bench. And it's just 150 and 30 to all EXs. That's just ridiculously good, especially with heavy Lysandre counts and Rough Seas for yourself on 240 HP Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good. I like it.
Alright, so Nathan, what do you think?
I love Groudon.
Okay.
But my brother and I built the deck as soon as we saw the scans. We were really excited about it. Just the ability to control the first knockout. If you play enough Lysander, you can bring up their threat before your threat comes active. It's just so strong.
Okay. So Mark, what would you rather pick?
Sorry about that. I'm a big fan of Primal Groudon. I really like how fast it can be using Landorus and Shout of Power. Hawlucha is a good attacker with it to kind of help stall and set up. Robo Substitute, just a lot of things that can kind of stall till you get ready. And basically the game is, once you get him rolling, if you can get those 4 energies on, it's all downhill from there. And usually you just end up sweeping. I like its matchup against a lot of the format. And it does have a few bad matchups that, and one of them sort of being Toad. It's just kind of a race to see who gets the end.
Uh-oh. Cut out on us. Wait, so what did you say? It was a race to see what? You there, Mark?
I'm sorry, say that again?
You said it was a race to something. You're talking about the Toad versus Groudon?
It's a race to set up, really.
Okay.
And, it's if you're going first with Primal Groudon, you get that energy attachment. That may be enough, honestly. Just got to get the Primal Groudon down. Even if you don't get the Spirit Link down, if you just get that Mega Evolution, that really helps because it keeps them from touching you.
Okay, alright. So the next question, it's kind of a funny question. Who's the cutest brown kid you know? And Nathan, I'll let you go first.
I have no idea.
So no idea? Mark, what about you?
Robbie Ector, Shea Butter.
Alright, what about you, Jake?
Isaiah Williams. Kid's adorable.
And you, Serena?
I'm gonna have to go with my pal Omar from Florida.
Oh, you told Raul you want to vote for him, but...
Well, no, I just said not Kabir.
Oh,
That's
okay.
all.
Not Kabir. Okay, alright. So let's see here. Sorry, there's a lot of stuff. Alright, what is the best partner with bats? And I know, Serena, you played Toad Bats last weekend, so what do you think is the best partner with bats?
Seismitoad bats is really good. I actually think Landy bats is just in general, like if you were to pit the decks against each other, that would be better. It's so powerful. I mean, depends on your meta, but I do actually think I like the like Landy bats fighting decks with bats more.
Okay. Which one would you rather pick, Nathan?
I think right now Seismitoad bats. I think Toad is.
Uh-oh. We're losing people.
Another victim has fallen.
Alright. Oh, never mind. Okay, he's gone for real.
I'm here.
Okay, Mark, so what do you think would be better? Which one's the better bats?
I like the damage output that Landorus puts out with Crobat, but personally, I'm not a huge fan of the deck, and I think there's good counters to it, especially now with the last state's results. I will say that in my testing online, the variant that actually gave me the most trouble, I might be a little embarrassed to admit this, I guess, but it's Wobbuffet combined with bats. I don't know, just I play a lot of ability-based decks, turns it off, and being able to hit with his attack pretty hard once you get that damage on there, it's not bad for a one prize attacker.
Okay. So what about you, Jake?
I was actually thinking the same thing with the Wobbuffet. I think there's so many really good abilities that are being used right now. But when the Wobbuffet shuts it all off, and especially since it's a one prize attacker, and with Dimension Valley is a one energy attacker, even though you need the bat to set up the knockouts, I think it's still very good. Very good.
Okay.
Like Wobbuffet.
So, what do you expect that your local players be playing this weekend? And I guess we'll go with you first, Mark.
Well, like I said before, Arkansas is a battleground state. Our players here play a little bit of everything. As far as amount of time with organized play, we are one of the youngest states, and I know last year we had the lowest attendance out of any state. I believe we had 37 Masters. It's pretty low, but because of that, though, a lot of good players come from all around the surrounding areas. And being kind of a hodgepodge. Every year that we've had our state champion every year has been a world's competitor. Sam Liggett, Ty Smith, Jared and Kenton Anderson. This year will be our 5th year. Looking ahead, we have a lot of Eviltal here. We have a lot of fairies here. Fighting decks are very strong. We even have the fabled Verizian Venusaur deck here. I know someone's going to ask about it, but there's the thing about Arkansas is a lot of good players are coming from all over: Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, even beyond. They're all coming here because they're all looking for easy points. The problem is once they all get here, they still have to face each other, and it still makes for a very exciting top cut. It's hard. It's a hard state to test for because there's so much stuff. We still have Plasma here. Everyone's playing TDK. So you have to be able to kind of expect everything, because if you don't, you may trip up against something like Pyroar, or you may trip up against Plasma Kyurem.
Do you think Sam Chen will fly down again?
He did very well last year. I think he made the finals last year. I would say sure. I know that that Britt will be there. Yeah. And Britt is a very consistent player. I know a lot of strong Oklahoma and Texas players are coming, and I'm excited to see who wins it. It would be nice if an Arkansas player finally won. It'd be very good for the home state, but I got a lot of friends that are competing, and I'm very excited to see how it turns out.
Okay, so Jake, what about you?
Oh gosh, I honestly do not know what most of the local players are playing. Outside of, there's usually one person playing there's usually a few people playing fairies, the Yveltal Garbodor Seismitoad deck, and there's just about every Mega Manectric variant under the sun. There's Mega Manectric Fighting, there's Mega Manectric Seismitoad, there's the Kyurem. Even had one person playing it with Pyroar. So I would say all of those things, and I know a few Texas players are coming up from there.
Yeah.
Texas, coming from Texas, who'd have thought? And so, things like that. So I honestly don't know what to expect.
Okay. So, Nathan, the question is, what do you expect your local players to play at the States this weekend?
I have no idea. I mean, it'll probably be really close to what was played at Alabama. Um, I don't know. I mean, just a lot of Seismitoad and a Veltal, I think, maybe.
Okay. So, what about you, Serena?
So let's see. The meta usually stays the same between BC provincials, Washington states, and Oregon states, or it all kind of shifts in relevance to itself. It's usually the same people. So last weekend there was a lot of Toad. There's a lot of Yveltal Garb and Kyogre 1. So I'm expecting more Kyogre and probably a good amount of Yveltal, and then people will probably still play Toad, and then Toad counters if such things exist,
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's probably what it's going to be like.
All right. So the next question is opinion on a Manectric EX and Mega Manectric EX. And Jake, I know you've been playing this all year, so what are your opinions on those cards?
I think Mega Manectric is the best Mega there is. That's probably because I'm biased and I've played it at every tournament so far. But I think they are wonderful. The ability to cycle them with max potions between the Turbo Bolt, max potion, and then power up a new one. And now that the Rough Seas is out, I think Mega Manectric is just a very, very good card.
Okay. So what
But
about...
it's, I was just going to say, but really the only way Manectric will ever actually be good is if you pair him with somebody that picks up his slack. So
Is that like a secret that you have, or do you want to share?
Oh no, I've been playing it all this season. I played it at all my cities. It's the I played Manectric Suicune, and I just think it's really good because you have all the fighting weakness that comes with Mega Manectric, but Suicune is also very good against that because Halucha can't attack it, Landorus gets one shot by it, and Lucario can't attack it as well, and it just opens up a bunch of options when you have the Mega Manectrics powering up each other and you're manually powering up the Suicunes.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, don't worry, Jake is not turbo bolting to Suicunes. So.
I actually got to do that at States this weekend. It was fun.
Oh, did you play Silent Lab?
No, I played against a Garbodor, and he was playing Garbodor Seismitoad. So I catchered up as Garbodor, powered up my Suicune, and then sent it active the next turn. It felt really good.
Okay. So, Serena, what are your opinions on Manectric EX and Mega Manectric EX?
It's really good. Both of them are really good. Like the, 2 energies for 140 on just your regular Manectric. You don't, 140 with Muscle Band.
Yeah.
You don't even have to, you don't even have to Mega Evolve, which is awesome. But then you do have the option to Mega Evolve and then just do tons of damage, but also power up. I don't know. I like it a lot. I've never really played it. I played it in part of a Fairies deck, Mega Manectric Fairies, and that was like super awesome. It's a little fragile, I feel sometimes, but maybe with Rough Seas, maybe that'll help it out. I agree. You definitely need to have something else to sort of pick up its slack.
All right, Mark, what about you? Oh.
I guess I'm going to go against the grain here. In my area, there's a lot of fighting decks, and I just here Mega Manectric doesn't really see a lot of play, and the times that it did, it never performed well at any of our events. Most of our Yveltal players are running Shadow Circle for the weakness. We still have a lot of Donphan, a lot of fighting here. As far as its capability, I honestly like regular Manectric EX more than the Mega for the reasons that were given about the tool attack and everything like that. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that may be more powerful at this time, but for that brief window when Phantom Forces was the latest set, I do think that it had a lot more viability than it does now.
Okay. Yeah, Jake knows a lot about the Yveltal Shadow Circle stuff, don't you, Jake?
I feel like that's a stab because you beat me with that deck. But hey, I took my revenge the next tournament.
You did,
so
you did.
it's all
I'm proud
good.
of you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Alright. Oh, I was supposed to ask Nathan. You gotta...
It's my father.
I thought there was someone behind me. I was looking and I was like, oh god!
Alright. What do you think, Nathan?
About Manectric, the card is really good.
Okay.
I like Manectric a lot.
He's like, I don't want to talk to Nail, someone's here. Okay, so the next question is, with the amounts of Toad, do you expect VG and Metal to resurface for week 2? And we'll go with you first, Mark.
I don't actually. I think that with it being such a great play, it also has a lot of ways to beat those decks still, especially with Silent Lab and Headringers. Frisian Genesect is definitely a winnable matchup. I know that in my area, there's still a lot of decks that will be played that have good Metal matchups and have good VG matchups. I don't see it raising up, because even whenever those decks are not playing Toad, now there's a lot more decks that are featured in the metagame that will give them both trouble. I believe Metal is just a little bit too slow than what I would like, and I think that may be a hindrance to it as well. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say Toad probably stays a very strong play, a very popular play, and I don't think anyone's going to try VG to counter it.
Okay. So what about you, Nathan? What do you think?
I think in some areas VG will do well. I think here in Georgia, probably not. I think there's going to be a lot of Night March and Flareon still. But in other areas, I can see it doing well.
Okay. So what do you think, Sorina? Oh, Sorina?
Who was that directed to? Was that to me?
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I don't see people playing VG just because of Flareon, Night March, all that kind of stuff. But I'm not sure it would be such an awful play. Maybe people will get too scared to play Flareon because of the Toad. And if that's the case, then, VG beats Groudon, it beats Kyogre. Well, it has good matchups against them.
Yeah.
I haven't tested them. And then also you wreck Toad. So I don't know. I think I'm just going to go in, to Washington State's in the morning and just be like, what's everyone playing here? And then decide from there.
Okay. So what do you think, Jake?
That might be.
I think Toad is still just going to stay on top because even though, because it just requires so little to be going, you just need the Toad and the double, and that shuts down a third of almost every deck in the format. And you can play. I know I used to be playing the Toad deck a lot, and it's just you can tech for almost anything, and it might not be the best options, but Flare Guns and Headringers and Crushing Hammers are all really good answers to Frisian Genesect, and now the Silent Labs and such just stop more things that were stopping it, like the Aegislash and whatnot. So I think Toad is still going to see plenty of play, and it's still going to do fairly good.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, so this is kind of a big question. How do you feel Bats has impacted the game in the less impressive showing? The state of the metagame or just the effectiveness of Toad Garb heavy format? I guess this question is, how do you feel like Bats has impacted the game overall? And I guess he's saying it because it's now made Toad Garb like a really heavy play now because of Bats doing so good. We'll go with Jake first.
Can I come back to this question?
Yeah, that's fine. What about you, Mark? Uh-oh. You there, Mark? I guess Mark can't hear me. Nathan, can you hear me?
Impacted it in a good way, because it's sorry. I've just got a little bit of lag here.
Okay.
I think it's impacted it in a good way. For one, it's a viable archetype, and that's a big thing that kind of just came out of the blue. I think that like it was mentioned, it does force a metagame shift to account for it, which it's kind of a roguish deck to start with, so it does increase Garbodor and Seismitoad, but it definitely has its place in the format. So yeah, I think it's impacted the game. I don't think it's a BDIF contender, anything like that. I know a lot of friends from my hometown here in Conway are going to be playing in Arkansas States, and will be manning Landorus and Crobat. And the best of luck with it. Personally, don't know if it's the great choice for week 2, or for this week of states rather. And but it's definitely a viable archetype. If you can avoid Toad, you have a shot.
Okay. What do you think, Nathan?
Yeah, I mean, Bats are definitely good. I mean, I said before, I like Bats with Toad a lot. As for the actual question, how they impacted the game, it's kind of weird. I think I mean, I think it impacted it for sure.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a deck that people have to watch out for sure.
What do you think, Serena?
I think Nathan was saying this earlier. I think like, I love bats because, yeah, sort of to what Nathan was saying earlier, it just provides so much variety. I've seen bats being played in like five other different guys. I've seen like toad bats and nectric bats and landy bats, and you can play it with Mewtwo, with Wobbuffet, or both, or whatever. So I really like the variety that it sort of brought to the metagame.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's not really like a deck in itself that you have to worry about, but a component within a deck that you can teach yourself to play against, or that you have to like think about, and that's really interesting. And I personally like Garbodor a lot, but I played against a Dark Garb deck, and if you're playing Toad Bats, it doesn't really matter if
Okay.
they have Garb or not.
True.
You're just like, whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like it. It's cool.
Okay. So, what do you think, Jake?
All right, I certainly think it impacted it a fairly large amount because it gave so much viability to so many different decks, mainly from the fact of you can do more damage in multiple places,
Mm-hmm.
and just being able to, like, one turn go nuts with a bunch of bats and then a big attack on their active and stop, like, one, two, even three threats in a turn can just completely swing the game. And then doing that 2 turns or 3 turns later with scoop ups and such, I definitely think it can just unleash the beast at any given time.
Okay, that's a true point. All right. So I know this question was kind of directed towards Dustin because he hates talking about new formats when they don't exist, but we'll actually talk about it. I think it's something good to talk about. What do you think about Rayquaza in the next format? And I know, Mark, you kind of maybe been testing because you can't really play until Nationals. So what do you think about Rayquaza in the next format?
I think, like any new set, there's always that one archetype that gets hyped very heavily as soon as it's announced. That is definitely the Rayquaza deck. I think it's good. It's got a lot of support. It has a lot of different options, and it also has, what is that, Delta Evolution, so that thing's coming out fast. It's coming out swinging fast. However, maybe I have to be a little bit too early on that. I would need to do a little bit more testing. I think that some of the item cards, the Mega Turbo for one, is going to speed a lot of things up. And I really like Primal Groudon with the new format, with some of the new items that it gets. Rayquaza is going to be good. You're going to have to be able to beat it. You're going to have to play a deck that counters it or beats it. And it's the same thing. You'll have to shift to play against Rayquaza decks. It's going to be fast, and you just got to be faster. The lightning weakness may be okay. You may be able to pull something off like a Mega Manectric or a Raichu. I know they've got Altaria, but it's definitely doable. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to put the BDIF tag on it just yet. But it will be a viable deck that will see play at Nationals, and it's a matter of what you're going to do. If you're either going to play it or you're going to play something that beats it.
Now,
And that's kind of lame.
okay, so is it like a Gengar Prime kind of thing, or do you think it's like actually like a thing? Oh.
I'm sorry, say that again?
So do you think it's like Gengar Prime? You know, everybody was hyping Gengar Prime, and it just didn't do anything, or do you think actually make a showing at Nationals?
I don't know. I played Mugar for a while, so I don't know if I can answer that without bias. But I will say that with every set, I mean, Mega Gengar came out. There's a lot of hype there. It seems like with every set, there's that one archetype that gets hyped. Mega Gardevoir, for example, with Primal Clash. Good card, great when it sets up, murders things when it gets going, but then whenever people start testing with it, it's a little bit slower than people expected. That's the kind of example I'd like to use. So, although I think Mega Ray will be very fast, it may not be as perfect as this setup as everybody thinks. It may take a little bit of effort.
Okay. Does anybody else want to talk about their Rayquaza in the next format, or do you haven't that looked into the new set really?
I've looked into the new set.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly think that it's going to become an archetype, and it's going to become an archetype within maybe like not even a week of the set being out.
Mhm.
but I think it's going to be like Vrizian Genesect. Yes, it's going to be very good, and yes, a lot of people are going to play it. But at the same time, I don't think it's the end all be all deck
True.
because I'm going to stick with Mega Manetric and just find a way to stop the Altaria. So,
Okay.
and also coming just real quick on the last question, an interesting deck I saw was Mega Gardevoir Garbodor. I saw that deck at States. I thought that was real interesting.
Okay, that's kind of weird, but okay.
I'll throw that in there. I forgot about it. It
All right.
beat me, so it was good.
That's very weird. Okay. Anybody else want to talk about Rayquaza or not really?
No.
Okay. All right.
I agree with what everyone else said,
Yeah, true. All right.
basically.
So here's a good question: would you rather have a format with a clear BDIF or one with many top-tier decks? And we'll go with Nathan first.
Well, this kind of goes back to what I said earlier. A different kind of luck where you need to, face the right kind of decks in order to do well.
Mhm.
With a clear BDIF, you have a little bit less of that. I prefer the more variance. Personally, I think that the game is great right now in terms of variance.
Okay. So what do you think, Serena?
I'm also going to go with more variance. I think it's a little bit more fun when you don't really know what you're going to face and you have to, work on your strategy a lot. But at the same time, I think it depends. The other question, I think it really depends on what kind of BDIF you have, like one clear one, because I didn't play during SP, but I'm reminded back when Luxchamp was huge, I know so many people who love playing in that format versus when, say, like Darkrai Mewtwo or whatever was huge.
Yeah.
No one liked playing that, right? So it's the kind of I think deck that you have if you have like a BDIF that's like really skill based. Then I could see that being fun, but I've never played in a format like that, so I'm gonna go with variance.
Yeah, I know Kobayashi would easily say that there's just one BDIF because he thinks he could beat any Luxchamp player with his Luxchamp deck. So,
Yeah.
all right. So Jake, what do you think?
The question was variance or BDIF?
Yeah, just one clear BDIF or multiple BDIFs kind of thing.
Um, I would certainly say multiple BDIFs
Mhm.
because it just adds more variance to the game. Then again, Rats has been in format for a long time, so we haven't seen this variance thing for a while. And outside of that, I think that variance has always been healthy for a card game.
Okay. So what do you think, Mark? Give him a second.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's all about variety. Plain and simple. If you got one clear BDIF, I feel like the format goes stale. The game's not fun. Plain and simple. One of my favorite formats was Heart Gold, Soul Silver to Noble Victories, and I remember going to city championships, and the top tables were every single deck was different, and it was a fun format because I feel like it invoked a lot of skill because choosing what to play was one of the hardest decisions that you had to make because you really had to think about you with a clear BDIF, you know what your matchups are, but sometimes the fun of the game is the rock paper scissors, and I think that's what Pokemon wanted. Whenever they made they wanted balance like that. It just makes it more fun, and if you get paired up against a bad match of variety, Pokemon creates all these cards, and 90% of them can't even be used in tournament play because they're bad. Let's make them a little bit more balanced. Let's make a lot of different options, and let's just turn them loose in a big tournament and see what happens.
Okay, that's true. So the next question: what are good counters to Toad? And Jake, you can go first on this question.
Good counters to Toad. Goodness gracious, Brizian. Well, no, I contradicted that from earlier. I've been playing the Suicune in my deck, and between Suicune and I play Rough Seas to knock out their Verbanks, that's always worked really well for me. I might not have done so hot, but I didn't lose to any Seismitoads in States, and so it's worked very well in testing. That's the only counter that I've seen that really works for me. Then again, I haven't tested much outside of that realm.
Okay. So Mark, what do you think?
I'll agree with Suicune because for the longest time I've been playing Pilax, right? Playing a kind of a rogue deck, and thankfully I have him in there for him. But no, if I had to pick one Pokemon just in the entire format that I think is the best counter, I think it's Plasma Leafeon. The water resistance is great, fairly easy to set up. But the thing about it is, you gotta play a specific deck to really get the full utility out of him. So it's one of those things, man. If you're not really playing something that fits in, it doesn't really help that much. So with that said, I would say that the best counter for Toad, in my opinion, is running Zero Sick in your deck. I'm heavy on fairies right now. I do think that Florges EX isn't necessarily a counter, but definitely outspeeds Toad, and the trade it goes pretty well. And so I like Florges as just an attacker, just
Oh no.
turn without the DCE. A lot of the times, it's all you need.
Okay, true. So, I'll go to Sorina first real quick.
Sure. Maybe a weird answer. I think the best counter to Toad is Toad. My philosophy is, hey, if you can't beat him, join him, which is why I play Toad. I also like it a lot. But no, like you were saying, Zerosic, all of that stuff is really good. All of those cards are Team Flare Grunt, Headringer in your own Toad deck, and then just go first, or whatever. And then all of those things in combination with the item lock is really gonna, I think that's one of the best ways to sort of counter it. Other than that, like Cobalion EX, any sort of guy that's gonna knock off energies as well. But I like the I like the Zerosic with the combination of item lock. I think that's generally the best you're gonna be able to do.
And what about you, Nathan?
Yeah, I have to agree. Zerosic is a fairly solid counter. I don't know. I was gonna say something, but I totally forgot. But yeah, Zerosic.
That's fine. If you come back to it, just let me know.
Yeah.
Alright, so with the format being so Toad heavy, is it worth considering dropping Verse Seeker from decks in favor of more supporters? So what do you think, Nathan?
No.
No? Serena?
I like Versus Seeker a lot.
I feel like this is a very straight, easy answer. What do you think, Serena?
I agree. I don't know. I always play 4. I always think you should play 4. I don't know. I know it doesn't make sense because you're under item lock. You don't want to play items, but just do it. Just play 4. It's fine.
Mark, what do you think? He's thinking about it?
Yep.
Maybe. What'd you say, Mark?
Okay, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm gonna say no. I mean, like, I play 4 versus Seeker and everything. I would say the lowest you should ever play in any deck is probably 3, and maybe like we said, add Zerosic to work on your Toad counters. But the thing that we talked about with BDIFs and variants is that Toad is very good. It's not the clear BDIF though. So if you untech, I don't know, you take away your Versus Seekers to help your Toad matchup, you're going to wish you had him against everything else in the format. And I think that's just a move that you just can't afford to make.
Okay. And Jake, what about you?
No. I think Versus Seekers are just ridiculously good. They're like wild cards in Uno. It's like, you top deck one, I have so many options. Unless it's turn 1, then you'll have depression. But other than that, I just think Versus Seekers are amazing cards. And even if they are shut off in one matchup, and the other 10 matchups that you have the possibility of playing, you're going to be like, thank goodness.
Yeah, true. Alright.
I mean, if you're... Can I jump in really quick?
Go.
If your strategy against Toad is to get them to not Quaking Punch ever, then you'd want 4 versus Seeker. Like, why not? Because if you do have that one turn when you're not item locked, or several turns ideally, then you want those cards to be any supporter you want, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Alright, so I think Mark's the only one who can really answer this question. Why is Kevin Murphy so bad at this game, and why does he hate helping me with the decks?
Okay, alright, Emily. So, I don't necessarily know if Kevin does make some questionable deck decisions. Some.
Oh, no. Hold on.
Other times.
Okay.
The other times, honestly, it's bad matchups, man. Like it seems like no matter what tournament we're in, we always get paired up together, or he'll always get paired up with basically whoever he brings with him, because he carpools a lot of people down from Northwest Arkansas, and whoever he brings down with him always beats him. Always beats him. And then he's got a few like rivals here or whatever. Like he'll get in top 4 or top 2 at his cities or whatever. And it's always the same person that beats him every time. We've got a guy here, a casual player that just has, I guess, a lot of luck once he gets in top cut. So I know that Kevin's won a cities or 2, and he's won one in the Texas Marathon. And he's got a lot of points. He's a good player, but like we said about luck all night, kid doesn't have it.
Do you think it has to do with this deck decision with him, or no? Oh no. No, the joke died. Did you hear me, Mark? Oh.
Say that again?
I said, do you think it has to contribute to his deck decisions at all?
I don't know, man, because like I know he jokes about the Raticate stuff, but I've seen that Raticate do a lot of work at local events here. All these people are like, why is this guy even on this video? Arkansas, are you serious? This guy plays these 2 cards here, right? But I'm serious, man. Like, I've seen him do some pretty crazy stuff with some pretty janky cards. But it's just one of those things. Luck is not on the guy's side sometimes.
I've seen you play some janky stuff too, like that Snorlax stuff, and it's...
Don't hate, man. Don't hate.
I don't hate. I've seen it in action. Both the good Arkansas players never play like legit decks. They always have their own like twists and stuff, but they always do good. So you can't hate. Exactly. All right. So Alex asked, "How do you feel about it's Zane leaving One Direction?"
No.
So do you listen to him, Sorina? I guess no. Yes.
I don't really listen to One Direction, but Zayn was like objectively the hottest member, so I'm a little upset, I guess. Maybe he'll like branch out on his own. I don't know.
Anybody else know about this or no?
Well, yeah.
I'm literally torn to pieces on the inside. If you can.
I was a radio DJ for a pop music station for 6 years, so I'm so glad that I don't have to care about this anymore.
Alright, so we'll ask everybody this question first. Did y'all read the comments in the Verbank post?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, there was a picture that Mark posted of Jeremy Jalen. Now the question is, do you think he was really asleep or not?
Oh.
Yes.
You think he was asleep, Serena?
I know the answer.
I know the answer too. All right.
Yes, I guess. I don't know.
So I kind of know Jeremy a little bit, and then there was this one time, like at Nats, like 2 years ago, where I had to help him out a little bit. So knowing his personality, maybe he was drunk.
So but do you think he's asleep in that picture, Serena?
Yeah.
All right, Jake. What about you?
I met Jeremy at Nationals last year. I played him. So that was the only time I've ever talked to him. And by the information I gathered from that, he was asleep in that picture.
All right, Mark. So was he asleep or not asleep? Oh.
The suspense.
Jeopardy theme.
Oh no! Say it again, Mark.
All right, so Jeremy is definitely asleep in this picture. This is Texas Marathon, December 2012, I believe. We're at Alec Noah's house, and me and Cranberry are the only 2 awake. Alec wakes up and he goes in to the game room or whatever, where we are on the 2nd floor, asking Jeremy something about if he can borrow a card or something. Jeremy's asleep on the floor. He raises up and says, "Yeah, okay." But instead of trying to lay back down, he just falls back asleep in this position. So me and Kevin and Adrian Montoya are all there, and we're like, what should we do with him to mess with him? And Montoya's like, stick a pen in his butt. So look. So memory and picture from that tournament that I want to share. And can you guys still hear me okay?
Yeah, I still hear you.
Okay, so there's one other favorite memory that I want to put another player on blast from that Texas Marathon is
Okay.
Harrison Levin. We were at a city championship in some warehouse where they make like little miniature figurines, and at that cities they were giving away just random Pokemon stickers to everybody. And all throughout the day, Harrison was playing he was playing Quad Sigilif in that tournament. And all throughout the day, we were all taking our stickers off of our sticker sheet and putting them on the back of his hoodie, and he never knew it until like round 6. Whenever he went to the bathroom, and then he turned around and saw himself in the mirror, he's like, "Oh, wait a minute, what's going on here?"
Does anybody have any stories they want to share about Pokemon in general? Like funny stories?
Yeah, actually, at this past marathon, one of the cities was at a Stevie B's, and everybody went in and bought all these army men.
Mm-hmm.
And like the very next cities, it was like this big bag of army men. We like hid army men all throughout the tournament, like in the bathrooms. It was hilarious. We put army men in people's hoodies and everything.
What about you, Jake? Any stories?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Not that I can remember.
All right, Sorina, what about you?
I can't remember any really funny stories off the top of my head.
I doubt it. You're lying. I know Serina's lying.
Oh,
All right.
I'm sure I have tons.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I'm done with questions. Do any of y'all have any questions for each other? Any just general questions or anything?
Yes.
All right. What is it, Jake? Well, what the heck, Jake? You said yes, but then you don't say anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say yes.
Oh, what the heck?
I got a
Alright.
question.
Okay, what's up, Mark?
So I'm one of those people in that group that is not necessarily on the Seismitoad bandwagon. I don't really like Seismitoad in the format. I am very patiently awaiting a rotation to get rid of Laserbank. But my question would be, for a rotation that will most likely happen at the end of the season, what are the cards that you guys would miss the most? Assuming, and I guess you would need to know the format, so let's assume that it's XY on.
XY on.
Oh my god. Well, Shaman gets reprinted, so I guess I have another Shaman back. When is Plasma Blast? Is it after X and Y?
Oh, Plasma
Oh.
Blast is before.
Oh, then Verizia Genesect. I would cry if I didn't have those cards.
Aww.
I would say actually a big loss is going to be Floatstone.
Oh, okay.
I think one of the big cards that we're going to be losing is the Laserbank, Garbodor, Execute is even going to go, so that could affect stuff. Flareon, Getsis, we know that's a very popular card. So, among many other things.
Hey, I interviewed 2 people, both of them top 8 with Getsus, and that's how they beat Flareon, so. It is a good card. Alright, Serena, about you?
Let's see. I'm so bad at stats. I'm gonna miss Darkrai. Darkrai gets rotated, right?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I don't know. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
It said like the late blast permanent and legendary treasures, which I guess is the last set before XY. So I'm gonna miss Darkrai a lot. I played that card a lot. Ever since, like when I started playing Hydreigon, and then I haven't stopped playing, Dark. So I'll miss that.
I might say Darkrai too, because that's the most expensive card I've ever bought. I bought 4 of them from $80 a piece, so.
Ooh.
What were they full arts?
No, they were regulars, but that's how much they were at the time.
You bought regular Darkrai's for $80 a pop?
I didn't have any
I'm
going
so sorry. Ooh. I started playing when like the 10 came out, so
in there. Yeah. I know. Okay, I know Serena's favorite story. I'll tell it myself.
What is it?
So,
Do you want to?
Huh?
Yeah, no, you tell it.
Do you know what I'm
Go for
talking
it.
about?
No.
You know. What
It
okay.
started with worse sitting. That's
Okay. No. We're not
generally
sitting.
the case.
I sit down. Oh yeah. So I sit down, and it's the Nationals like Last Chance Point Stingy Mabobber 2 years
Oh,
ago.
oh yeah.
And so here I am playing Darkrai Hydreigon. I'm like, alright, if anybody can't beat this deck, they don't deserve a Worlds Invite. So I sit down.
Okay, wait, let me preface this.
Okay.
The entire season, all I had played was Hydreigon. It was like my deck. I was like on that. Like, that is literally all played. Before the LCQ, I was like, okay, Sorina, like, you know, you gotta get your shit in gear. Like, play a real deck. Don't play Hydreigon. Play something that has good match, you know, that's consistent. So I just played regular Dark. And then my first round, I go up against this guy who's like squeaky marking or whatever, I don't know. And I was like, oh, who's this guy? And then he flips over like dinos, and I just, like, my mind explodes. Just like, fuck this game.
And that was the first time I missed Sorina.
Yeah, and then, he beat me. Like, duh.
As soon as I got a Hydreigon, it was over.
Yeah.
Okay, no. But my favorite story is I got to play against Jay Hornog playing straight Darkrai when I was playing Darkrai Hydreigon, and I beat him. I don't even care that it was like an auto win. Like, I got to play against my idol and beat him, so that's all that matters. Alright. Well, anybody else have any questions or anything?
One card that I'm really gonna miss, of course,
No,
I'm gonna miss my boys here, right?
I knew you were going to miss them.
But to be honest, the card that I'll probably miss the most is this one right here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
What set is the gold one in?
Plasma Freeze, I think.
Oh, see, I don't know all this stuff. I don't know what cards
It's gonna be gone.
I'm
Oh.
going
Gonna miss
to
it.
thank the heavens that Crushing Hammer is gone,
Yeah.
as well as Terrakion. Both
Wait.
of them have been the bane of my existence.
Crushing Hammer isn't gone though,
are.
is it?
Crushing Hammer's not
Oh.
gone.
Did
Yeah.
you
They
reprint it?
did just now.
It's a leak
Wow,
promo.
I hate everything. I hate everything.
Okay.
I'm so looking forward to that card being gone.
Alright, so I have a question. What is your favorite format? Anybody can just answer. I don't care.
Ooh, I want to go.
Okay, go.
Alright, States. 2 years ago, I was playing Lugia EX Sigilyph. It was right when Plasma Storm came out, and it was something to Plasma Storm. I think it was just black and white to Plasma Storm, and the whole deck was I played I played Lugia, I played 4 Lugia, and then 1 Sigilyph, and then I played the Chorus Machines, Recycles to get back the Plasma Energies, and all this other stuff. And I was at Louisiana States, and rounds 1 through 6, that was back when Keldeo, Blastoise, and things of that nature were very popular. And I remember playing against 3 Keldeo Blastoise decks, and by turn 3, I had already gotten 3 catchers on Squirtles and picked up all my cards and gone home. I did that for 6 rounds, and it was just a good time. And then I played a Garbodor in top 8, and I had a very bad time.
Alright, what about everybody else?
I really liked the time it was like the Diamond and Pearl, like just before Triumphant was printed.
Okay.
There was like a lot of legal sets, and we didn't have Junkrum and all that stuff. That was a really cool time for me.
I go with the year Nats when Gothita won. I really liked that deck, and I played it for Nats, and people would get really upset playing against it. I always liked that. They're just like, well, you win, I guess. And it's like, yeah, I do. Sorry. That was a good time. Sure.
What about you, Mark?
I mean, I guess Snorlax always has a place in my heart, right? But to give a different answer for once, one of my favorite decks I ever played, I guess it would have been Heart Gold, Soul Silver to Noble Victories. I was a big V3 fan. Vanillix, Vileplume, Victini, that double freeze. I was the only person here playing it, and I top cut every event that I was in, and everybody hated me. I made no friends that season. None.
Okay. Mark, you want to hear my favorite Vanillix story?
Oh, here we go.
Okay. So, Sam Liggett, right?
Yeah.
So, we're in Kentucky. Sam Liggett has to, like, top 4 this Battle Roads, or top 2 this Battle Roads, to get his Worlds invite. So, in Swiss round 3, I have a Vanillix up and something else. I can't remember, like a Vanillix up or something. and he has a Smeagol and a Darkrai on the bench or something like that. So he had just powered up Darkrai. He like put 3 energies on it, like he Dark Patched and everything, got everything loaded up with the Darkrai. He goes to Portraits. The only supporter in my hand at the time was Seeker. So he had a Seeker of his only Darkrai with 3 energies. So next turn I was able to get the Vileplume unlock, and he just kind of cried. He didn't know what any of the cards were, so. Oh, okay.
You're so happy.
No, it's like
It's
whenever
really funny.
whenever I see Sam, I always tell him like, "What's your favorite story?" And he's like, "If you talk about that vanilla story one more time, I'm going to punch you." In top 4. So in top 4 we play again, and like, he's like, I can't get my words back. There's no way. And I don't care. Like, I'll tell the story. So I go and proceed that both my Vileplumes are prized. Like I like there's a judge sitting next to me, and I like have Rare Candy Vileplume in my hand. I'm like, okay, in. I just shuffle my hand in my deck and start inning. And Sam's like, where's your Vileplumes at? And I was like, oh, I can never get them. And the judge just like looks at me and like, what is going on? Because at that place you couldn't scoop or you get banned. So.
Oh gosh.
You just made a bunch of misplays, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I never saw the Rare Candy.
Funny.
Yeah. So. Yeah. All right. So any of y'all got any more questions or anything? No.
No.
No?
That was cool story about a game that I played one time. This was back in, I think Black and White just came out, and it was the Battle Roads when the Gyarados deck was really popular. The one with the Sableye and Junkarm and all that good stuff. I was playing the Cinccino deck that did powerful Do the Wave or something for 20 times each bench. And I was playing Cinccino Crobat because I was in seniors, and that just sounded like a wonderful idea to me at the time. And so I was playing against my friend who was playing Gyarados, and he was like, dude, why don't you just go ahead and scoop now? Your deck is so bad. It can't beat Gyarados because it's so good. I was like, alright, this might be true. But, so we go to play, and I went first, and I opened Collector, Double Colorless, Cinccino, Minccino, Broken Time Space. And he opens 2 Magikarps, so I'm just like, Collector, 3 Bats, kill the active, Broken Time Space, attach, evolve, kill another one. How does it feel?
It's pretty amazing.
So that was fun, and then we played in Cut, and he disrespected me 2 games in a row. So good times.
Yeah, true. Alright, here's a question for everybody. How many championship points are you at right now? I don't care. Just whoever wants to answer.
I call last.
I'm at 270.
270. So hopefully you'll get it this weekend, right?
Yeah, hoping.
You gonna stay the same deck, or you switch it up?
I have no idea. Probably the fault of the same deck, but I don't know.
You got one more day.
I know. I'll make the decision there. I'll just like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. All right, this deck list.
Okay.
So I'll go next. I'm sitting at 90 right now. It's kind of an off year for me. It's my first year officially as a Poké Dad. So my son turns 7 on Saturday, and it's his first season as a junior. So I've had a lot of fun, and it's kind of cool. Like, I know not a
Oh no.
win kind of thing. So he's having a lot of fun. All he wants to do is play cards now. So I'm getting him attuned to the game, and it's a lot of fun. So it's more of a him year than a me year. But who knows, man? If I do well at nationals, if I maybe I get that invite. Maybe I still pursue Boston. But right now it's more about him.
Now, has he won any tournaments or anything, or no?
He has a bunch of second place finishes. A lot of second place finishes at cities, at all the league challenges around here. So he has not had his first official tournament win yet, but it's coming. It's coming. He keeps getting paired up against Pyroar in the finals, and I'm like, oh man, like, Daddy messed up. I'm sorry.
Okay, so how many points is he at though?
He is at 120, I believe.
So if he got 80 more points, would you go to Boston still?
Thanks, son. Appreciate the vacation.
Okay. So Jake, what about you?
Currently I'm at 150. I haven't gotten to play in anything bigger than a cities other than states this past weekend.
Hmm.
And I played the Monetric deck throughout all cities, and I could never win. I got 3 seconds, a third, a fourth, and a fifth, but I could never win a tournament. Thanks, Squeaky.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
Can't understand.
All right, Serena, about you? Ready to kill us all?
I'm at 394. I gotta win something though. The only thing I've won is a league challenge.
I have 394, but I've only won a league challenge.
It feels bad.
You still have 394 championship points, which is crazy.
That's true. That's true.
But girls are supposed to be bad at Pokemon, right?
Yeah, no, we are.
Oh, I love Burbank.
I don't.
It's weird. I hate it so much, but I spend so much time there.
I know.
Alright, so who's your favorite Pokemon player?
Oh, wow, that was a weird noise.
I gotta go.
You gotta go, Mark? Why?
That's the hardest question of the night, man.
No, it's a good question.
Frantically searching through my friends list to see who I like.
I would say Matthew Brower.
Matthew Brower? Is that your
Yeah.
brother?
Yeah. You know what? I mean, despite all the cards that we have access to, he still wants to play the really rogue stuff and does well. I'm proud of him.
There you go. Come on, guys.
I'm gonna go with my friend Jonathan Perinata. He has the nickname out here, the Master of Fun, and he is. He really takes the spirit of the game to the next level,
Mhm.
and he's a good player.
This is Matthew. Sorry, he kind of just. He overheard across the room, apparently.
So, Serena, you said he's like the best spirit of the game person?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I kind of interrupted you, Sorina.
No, it's fine.
No, it's okay. Yeah, he is. I mean, he's a good player. It's funny. He's it's funny.
So, Mark and Jake, did you come up with anything yet?
I mean, I've got names I can throw out because I know that no matter what I say, I hurt feelings here, and that means something to me though. But if I had to pick one standout player and call out on it, I'd probably pick Alec Noah from Texas, one of the nicest guys in the game. I've had the opportunity to stay in his home for tournaments and save me a lot of money on hotels and stuff. So I feel like Alec Noah has to be at the top of the list. But Kevin Murphy really helped me get in the game. I wouldn't even be back in the game right now if it weren't for him helping me get in. Adrian Montoya is a big one. Curtis Hill is a big one. Alex Olahar and Andrew Wester are big. I would say big friends right now that I have in the game. And I've always liked Jason Klasinski. I've always liked him, very successful player, and I think he's a good role model for the game.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
And all you Memphis people, of course, too. I see you guys all the time.
I love you too, Mark.
But Squeaky, you are my favorite Tennessee player. I will say
thank you. Thank you so much. I try my best.
My favorite person. Is it the favorite person to play against, or just your favorite Pokemon person?
It could be your favorite Pokemon person. It could be your idol, person you like to play against. It could be whatever you want to.
The person I like to play against the most is probably Brent Seibenkettle. He's I've known him for a really long time. Well, really long time has just been how long I've been playing, and he's always been really fun to play against. And I never know what's going to happen in our games, so it's always like.
Yeah, I wish he played more.
Yeah, I wish he'd come to Mississippi events more, but
just nah, don't worry about it.
I miss him though.
Yeah, it's okay. You better go to Georgia this weekend because he's not going to Mississippi this weekend either.
I know.
Yeah. Mark, are you ever going to commentate games again?
I would love to. I would absolutely love to. If somebody would do me the honor of giving me the video, I would definitely put some good commentary on it.
If only we had someone who recorded videos here.
Because I know my favorite commentary is from you.
Hey, send them my way. I will be glad to do it.
Yeah? Even though I got trash
Oh,
talked, even though I got trash talked on that recording, it was still one of my favorite recordings ever.
I really like doing it. Of course, I have a little bit of a background in that kind of thing, and I did do the submission for the official commentary or whatever. But I totally agree with what TPCI chose with Puka and everybody. But I did want that job very very badly.
Yeah, I also applied for it, but I don't think I made it very far. All right. Well, what's up?
I was just gonna say, if we're talking about commentators, I would just like to say I don't think they're really commentators or they were going for that, but Ryan and Kyle Sablehouse did a stream, and that was easily my favorite commentary of anything ever. Those dudes are hilarious.
They are.
I wish they would do that more often. That was easily the funniest Pokemon stream I've seen in my life.
That's very true. What about you, Sorina? Favorite Pokemon commentator?
Man, I don't know. I don't want to be stupid and say Puka, but I do like Puka's commentary a lot.
That's fine.
He is very well-rounded.
Yeah.
Brings a lot of insight, all that stuff. No, wait, Squeaky's my favorite
Nah,
commentator.
shut up. No. I'm so bad. All right, Nathan, what about you? Ryan and Kyle?
I agree with Jake. Yeah, Staple Houses all the way.
And Mark, what about you?
I'm going to go with the Sable House stream as well. I was a big follower of those streams, and I have to say it was pretty nice. But I'll answer for my son. He's sleeping right now, but he'll come to me, and we'll watch YouTube on the Wii U, put it up on the TV, and it's not
Oh no.
I watch a Pokemon card video. Can I watch that? All right.
Uh-oh. You have to repeat that. What'd you say, Mark? We didn't hear any of that.
I said I got to give a shout out to Puka because my son knows his channel by name. So
I'm actually going to say Kenny Wisdom's my favorite. So, yeah. I don't know. Very different. I don't know.
I do like the on the bubble streams. Those
Yeah.
are good.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know. I've ran out of things to talk about. What about y'all? Everybody good?
I would say I'm rather content with the things I've said.
Okay, that's pretty good. All right, well, I'm going to close it out then. Good luck to everybody this weekend. I hope you all do good at states, and I hope, Mark, you have a fun birthday party for your son.
thank you. We're going to stop by Arkansas State's once it's finished. We'll be cheering you guys on. So wish you best of luck, Squeaky and much, man.
All right, thank you so much. All right, everybody, thank you for doing this, and take care.
All right, thank you.
All righty, bye.
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 Good luck.
All right, you too.
What, guys?
Yeah.